This is Observer Radio, 91.1 FM.
Hi, this is Dave Lester Payne. Join me every Monday through Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. with Connecting with Dave Lester Payne only on Observer Radio 91.1 FM. Connect with me as I connect you to Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of the world.
Connecting with Dave Lester Payne and the Evolution Drive Time every Monday to Thursday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
And a very special good afternoon, Antigua and Barbuda. Great to be with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Of course, we know we're talking about Miss Jocelyn Francis, but we got misguided. We have with us, of course, Kelisha Pickett, Project Leader, Youth Impact. And of course, I think she's a student of the Monroe University. Yes. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Put the little microphone across. You say fantastic. I say fantastic too. Well, Ashina, where's Miss Francis? She vexed me, right? No. Because I tell her on the phone. How are you there? Tell me about this project. It's part of Good Humans to Succeed?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so explain to me, because I need to get this right. She's not here, and she didn't plan to come in. How did you feel when you learned that you were selected among the final 100 out of 5,000 applicants in the Unesco Youth Program?
I felt grateful, honored, and proud.
Where were you when you got the news?
Actually got the news sometime last year. I was either home or on the road, one of those two.
Okay, good. So
but it was a moment. I had a screaming
You're a university student?
Yes, I am.
What are you majoring in?
Hospitality management, my bachelor's degree.
Okay, so what inspired you to create a project focused on teaching young people about waste management?
What inspired me is the fact that we were able to divert over 1 million contents from the landfill through our student community service program, which we have the program in school where we go to the school and teach them about recycling, volunteering, and tree planting. But with that initiative, yes, we have placed bins in the school, asked them to recycle, and we provide the trees each school year for the students to plant. But it is not as impactful as I would hope. The students are participating, but what if they can do more than just putting the recyclables in the bin? What if they can create something that they can go back in the next 5 years, 10 years, or even after school and say, or tell their kids, hey, I created that. So that mindful thought crossed my mind of how we can get them more involved. So that's what inspired me, trying to get the youth more involved in recycling.
How did you get hook up with Good Humans?
So Miss Francis was my teacher.
Oh, okay. What school were you at that time?
St. Mary's Secondary.
Okay, good.
So she was crazy thing is she was my POA teacher. And I joke about this all the time because it's so crazy that when we were in school, she used to send me out of her class with talking.
And nobody can talk like that. Go ahead. Go.
So she used to send me out of her class for talking all the time. And then
so you were disruptive?
No, it's not that I was disruptive. It's just that I used to just ask random questions out of nowhere. So she would be in the middle of it's not really disruptive because the questions that I asked is pertaining to the class.
Okay.
But it's just how I was doing it.
Okay.
Yes. So
what happened?
There was one day when she sat down with us. We did a quiz. It was a pop quiz. And the class did terrible. And she sat down with us and she shared her life story. And when she did that, it kind of hit something different for me. So moving on to the future, when she approached me and she was like, she have created it. It just needed to be registered at the time. So presently, this year makes me 3 years with Good Humans 268.
Okay.
And when she told me what she wanted, I was like, I would like to be a part of that. Because it's not just about the youth that's in school, but also we are able to give persons with disability a home away from home. Persons with disability does not have the same advantages that we have for a person who's not really disabled. But if we're able to give them a home away from home, imagine, especially with Diana. I love Diana's story and the fact that knowing that we are trying to put something in place, not just for Diana, but for also other persons that has disability, that is something I would want to be a part of, because I want to know how can I, Kelisha Pickett, make a mark here in Antigua and Barbuda.
Kelisha, can you explain how your online classroom will help educate youth about proper waste management practices? And tell us about the online classroom.
So the online classroom, the content that we're going to be creating is going to be in different stages. So we have from kindergarten to Form 5. With the online classroom, they're separated in modules. Example, for kindergarten, we have more of a interactive visual, because with kids they're more drawn to cartoons, but then you don't want to use that same content for someone in Form 5, which is still going to be available, but I know some students learn by physically seeing and not like colorful seeing. So with my classroom, I'm hoping that by creating the different videos based on the module, it will give a step-by-step guidance to how we can properly manage waste. For example, for kindergarten, our little green hands, we're going to start is what is waste. So there's going to be a breakdown with waste, the 3 R's, and how they can be helpful. So once they're already on that pathway of how their little self can make a change, as we grow, say to secondary school, you're now doing the activities, you're going to the cleanups, you're creating stuff for your science fair with just using recyclables. So our classroom is generated to ensure that not only from kindergarten, but going straight through to 5th form on a more collective way. So as you grow, what is waste is just like for kindergarten is anything that we throw away. But then when you get to 1st form, it's a more in-depth definition, which I think by then students will be able to have a deeper understanding based on the modules that we've done before, or they have done before.
How pleased are you for the progress you guys have made thus far with waste management?
Over 1,000%, please.
Well, you have to tell me how pleased you are.
I am
over 1,000% pleased.
Over, yes, because so far we did our pilot school, which is Iron B. William. Thank you so much, principals, for supporting my project. And that's actually the 3rd form. So when I created the project, UNESCO actually focuses on our a higher grade. I'm trying to remember the age group, but I think it was between 14 to 16, and which will falls between the 3rd to 4th form class. So the 3rd form class was selected, and when we took them to John Hughes, the fact that they were able to not only understand the definition, but also want to help create the flag or everything that they wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to make a mark, and it was fun and it was educational for them. That as well is enlightening. So the fact that I'm able to even start this progress with them, I can just imagine if I start from kindergarten, go straight to Form 5. By the end of the school year, we have some really good students that can be placed in the different parts for waste management.
Okay, and why do you believe waste management education is important for young people today?
Because plastic takes years to break down. And today, there's so much different ways of how we can use waste. composting alone is very good for farming, and especially for persons with agriculture. We can use our compost fertilizer to fertilize our gardens, our farm, our crops, and everything. Plastic right now, there is a company in Miami, I can't remember the name of it, but they're making t-shirts, they're making cloth, they're making clothes. Just imagine if students learn the different steps, the different process, what can be composed, what can be recycled. We can create different stuff around, not just clothes, we can even use it for the building, we can use it for the roads, and especially with glass. Glass can be ground back down to sand. The barge in Barbuda, that needs to be closed up. Not only that, but you can make so much different stuff with what we already have. And in the future, I know it might not be as how it is now, but just imagine our roads are, everybody complains about the roads.
You driving it, so you speak for yourself. Go ahead.
So just imagine if we can use like probably the tires, if we have a chance to use the tires to make the roads, or like the bricks. So there's so much different stuff that we can use. There's actually a company in Trinidad that's actually making bricks from plastic.
From plastic?
From plastic. So just imagine, like, if students are educated from this early stage, and for some architects and persons who are into farming, this can actually help them even when they get out of school.
What is the response from the young people that you're focusing on right now as you, of course, congregate with them?
Yes, I do. And they're all excited to be a part of it. And it's always like a tell a friend to tell a friend. So yes, I would have mentioned it to our pilot school, which is Iron B. Williams Secondary. And after the activity, the Art Week activity, they would have went back to school and start to talk about it. And now it's interactive. So hopefully we're able to create the app. Well, the app is already created. It just needs to be published, and where students can log their hours and take pictures of their activities. So what I'm doing is a more of an interactive learning. Perfect example. I go to Monroe University and I enter class by a blackboard. At first, the idea was to create something similar, but I have a lot of login issues.
Why?
Because the Blackboard uses a 2-step verification.
Kyle said we got to take a break.
Oh, no problem.
Your car ain't moving if your engine won't.
Battery Engineering Limited.
Thank you for staying with us. Of course, we have Kelisha Pickett, Project Leader, Youth Impact. Yes. We move right along. You were saying?
So with my classroom for Monroe University, there's a 2-step verification just to ensure that your privacy is secure. And there are times where I'm having internet issues, or there's one time when I damaged my phone and all the code is going to the phone and there's no phone. So with having that knowledge, I don't want those other students to go through that same. Sometimes it can be frustrating, so I don't want them to go through that same procedure. But everybody has YouTube, everybody has Facebook, everybody have Instagram, and
as long as you have internet.
As long as you have internet, that is true.
Go ahead, yeah.
And all these other different platforms. So if we can make it more accessible, not just for the students, but also for the teachers, they can use my modules to teach them with their syllabus. So, in science, you have, like, in this syllabus, you will have to teach about recycling and, what's the word? The cycle, the whole water cycle and everything. So they can also interpret my modules into their syllabus.
Okay, so how far are you with your modules?
All the modules are there. They just need to be recorded.
And when are you going to do that?
We already started. There's some test runs, and we did have some slight difficulties. There were one point when we were scheduled to do it, I got sick, or my daughter got sick. So it was like, so we're having some hiccups, but we're ready for schedule in the future.
What kind of topics or lessons will students learn in the online classroom? That's really, and it's a two-part question. We look at what's happening in Antigua and Barbuda.
Mm-hmm.
We look at the effort that good humans have been making.
Mm-hmm.
And you're making strides, of course. You're coming up with a brand new thing for the Commonwealth.
Yes.
The children and
The
thing with
program,
the tap thing.
The butter covers.
The butter covers.
Yes.
How does the children gravitate to all that?
By joining the classroom, or because we're still doing our school tours, we're able to talk to them in the General Assembly. So it's a topic that, so the first thing in the morning, we go to General Assembly, we introduce ourselves and what we're trying to accomplish. And then throughout the day, it will be an interactive between this student and that student. So it will be a more talkative. And yes, we have different platforms that we're pushing it on. So even if they go on their personal platform, it would then come up and they would be like, hey, did you see that we can do this and that? So it's more of a word of mouth marketing experience.
Let's look at the country, our community, or
Yes.
the country.
And this is actually perfect for persons in the community as well, because perfect example, John Hughes, and you know our facilities there with all the recyclables. We did select, well, not we, but I selected the school Iron B. Williams in John Hughes because it's way more closer to the school, and the fact that the principal...
I want them to see you. This
Oh,
way.
sorry.
That's here. Yeah.
Oh, I
Go ahead.
I was live.
Yeah, of course you'll be live. Go ahead. Let's go. Let's go. They can see you around the world. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
So, with the communities, it's more visible to them, for them to see what we have diverted from the landfill. And as you know, right now that the landfill is on fire. So imagine if all that content was going to the landfill. That fire would not have been so small. It would have enlightened a wider reach. But for the students, when they come to John Hughes and realize all their little bottles and their cans and their glass that they're throwing in the bins that we have at school is going to the landfill, and now they're learning the process of separating, washing, and bagging for it to go into something new. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
Well, we all will, because we want Antigua and Barbuda to be safe.
Exactly.
Behaviors of young people towards wasting the environment.
So I can say there's been a change. In my first year in doing Good Humans 268, they didn't care.
No.
They didn't. They didn't care. They just know we see a bin, we throw it in there. But now when we have, so in our first year, our target was 850,000 recyclables. That's our target. And we did place a competition for the amount of the schools based on the size of the school, the amount of students that's there. After our first year, and they realized, wait, they can be a part of getting their school known. We did have the art competition where they had to do something with the barrel, and when we posted our picture, then is when they realized, wait, they can actually be doing this or they can do that to be a part of recycling. So now, seeing close to my 3 years, from my first time to now, there is a massive improvement.
But that's a good thing.
A massive improvement in young people today when it comes to recycling. And now when our bins are being empty, it's not as much garbage like before. So before, when I say garbage, there was waste in our bins because they didn't care. They just saw a bin and throw it in. And now we can say that we don't have that challenge anymore.
Okay, they're all aware of what they ought to be doing.
Yes.
How does your project support the environmental goals promoted by UNICEF?
By UNICEF.
Yeah.
UNESCO.
Oh, UNESCO.
So UNESCO is a youth empowerment facility where we are able to share our sustainability, our educational, and
Well, I'm with Kelisha. She's referring to her notes.
Yes.
So, first time you've been here with us, right?
Yes, I am.
Good. All right.
Very
You're doing
good.
well. You're doing well.
Thank you.
You're doing well. Miss Francis will be proud of you. Go right ahead.
So yes,
You found the reference.
our project supports our mission of UNESCO with promoting educational, sustainability, and youth empowerment program. So with this as well, as a young leader, I am able to empower the younger generation in becoming who they would like to become. And also with learning waste management, they're able to find a niche that they can make a change in Antigua and Barbuda.
I know that you guys have been working for a while and finance have been scarce, but tell me a little about your business. Tell me a little about it. You here, we might let them know what you do.
Yes, so not only that I'm a logistic coordinator for Good Humans 268, but I also run my own travel company, that is Secret Paradise Travel Services.
That's the name of it?
Yes,
Secret Paradise?
Travel Services.
So if you're secret, how I'll go find you?
But you see now,
How did that name come about? Secret Paradise.
so in the beginning, it was actually my secret paradise. What I wanted to do was to go around Antigua and shoot small little contents. I actually wanted to become a content creator and show the world what Antigua has to offer other than just our beaches, but also our culture and the environment and what we do here as Antiguans. And then I met a friend and she was like, you know, you can be paid for these things. I was like, what? So she was in the States and I was like, what, how? And she was like, you know, you can become a travel agent and invite, like persons will pay you to come to Antigua and you can do the whole tour and everything. So that's how it started.
Wow.
And when I went to register my business, unfortunately, my Secret Paradise was already taken. So I did Secret Paradise Travel Services.
A lot of people are going after all the names that they want, right?
Yeah.
So how has it been for you as far as getting folks to come? Now, the travel agent, is it based on people coming to Antigua?
No, so I'm internationally.
I want to travel. I want to buy a ticket to go someplace. Is that kind of travel agent?
Yes.
All right, okay, so
Not
secret.
only
Go ahead.
So not only to come to Antigua, but I'm very much international and regionally. I have clients even up in India, Suriname, and all these places. And I very much on all the different social media platforms. And I also just started.
But tell us where the social platforms you are.
So I'm on
what do they look
Facebook,
for?
Instagram, Secret Paradise Travel Services. So Secret Paradise Travel Services, once you punch it in on any social media, you will see my details and my contents.
Okay, so we want to travel and we call you and
Yes.
ask you to book us.
Yes.
All right.
And
but-
even if you want a nice little decor, I also have Petals and Promises that I recently started this year.
if I want a little decor.
Yeah, like a bubble balloon
As if
decor.
the world is talking to us. Tell them. Them you want to come. Tell them what you're
so our
offering.
bubble balloon decor.
What's a
and
bubble balloon?
It's a...
You going to damage the environment?
No. Oh,
Yeah, I'm just teasing you.
no,
man.
it wouldn't.
Go right.
So with Petals and Promises, we are a floral and bubble balloon decor where you can actually create a bouquet in the balloon, or have, like, if you're doing weddings. I created Petals and Promises based off of my wedding specialties.
Okay.
So I'm a certified wedding specialist.
Okay, good. All right. What leadership skills have you developed through this experience, as far as not the travel agency, but as far as this situation with the environment and, of course, the leadership skills and leading young people into the right path as far as our environment is concerned?
So the leadership skills I've developed or improved on, I should say, is my communication skills, time management, and...
Wait a minute, early bad today?
Because I learned.
Oh, you learn.
So before, I always come like roughly, like if I have to do something, I'll be like 5 or 10 minutes before time. But then, I learn from that, because the earlier you are, the time you get to relax yourself and then present yourself.
Okay, good. You're learning good. What message would you like to share to young leaders who want to create positive environmental change. The young leaders now. Now, we're not talking about the young people out there where you guys are trying to capitalize on to gain the knowledge, but the young leaders.
So my message I would like to share with young leaders is your idea matters. No matter how small it is, it matters. It can make a change, and also you can find persons who will believe in you and your program or project or whatever you're working on. You just have to stay pat. If you have an idea, that means the Lord had put it in your idea, in your mind, in your sleep, and now is your time to shine on it. Trust me, at first I was like, it might not work out, but look at me today, it's working out. And I'm hoping that you guys follow through, be consistent, and be yourself.
Now, as we do all that, now you, of course, Miss Francis and the Good Humans, you're working in something for the
Program.
The program. Where are we now as far as the last time she was here? You guys what you brought here was brilliant. Tell me, just
With the flag.
caps.
Yes.
Yeah, with caps.
So right now what we're doing is we are going around the school and dropping off some letters so that the principals, yes, we're trying to do our tour with the Right for a Cause, but we're trying to ensure that all the schools gather the information about March Global Recycling Day. Couldn't remember the name for a second. For Global Recycling Day. So all the students will
that
be
day's
able.
what?
That is March 17th.
We're not far from that.
No,
That's next week.
right?
Go right ahead.
Next week is not the week after.
March, you said next
Yeah.
week.
Oh, we're in March.
Monday's the 16th. Well, what is this? It's alright, you must come on the radio more often. We didn't mean to frighten you up.
No, but hopefully with this program and especially with my module, I'm hoping that I can do some collaboration with the National Solid Waste, because that as well will help the young persons to understand a deeper of how our organization or how Antiguan's company is done. Because, you know, the National Solid Waste manage all of the waste management and everything, but there are different sectors into that. And I'm hoping that we can do some collaboration with that and for Central Board of Health, so that they will have a more deeper understanding of how it's done, how it's taken care of, and how they can protect themselves while doing so.
With all the things that you're doing, how is your studies at Monroe University?
I'm a straight A student.
You're straight A student. Well,
and life's so funny. At the present moment, for critical thinking and analysis, I'm actually doing a research paper on plastic waste.
Okay, congratulations.
I will share it with you.
Thanks. And of course, tell Miss Francis, before you go though, you know, we all have to survive. You came here to educate our young people. Give us the business number for you.
So my business number for Secret Paradise Travel Services and Petals and Promises, as I mentioned, Petals and Promises is actually a branch from Secret Paradise Travel Services. You can contact me at 781-4842. I'm going to say it again, 781-4842. Or you can Facebook me at Secret Paradise Travel Services or Petals and Promises Decor. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
It was a pleasure having you. Good to have you here for the first time. But of course, I know, of course, she's listening somewhere and yes, we're good like that. Thanks a lot for being with us today, Ms. Pickett. I wish you all the best. Continue to study and stay where you have to stay. Enjoy what you're doing for the young people. Well, you young, but for the younger people, and see if we all can come together to save Antigua and Barbuda and the environment.
Thank you so much for having me.
Stay safe, stay work, and of course, what you guys are doing again for the Shogun?
We're creating a bigger bottle cap sculpture.
A bigger. Did you guys get all the white stuff that you were looking for? She told me Ali was looking for white caps. Are you still looking for white caps? Okay, good. And that's a wrap of this segment. Stay tuned for more right here. I'm connecting with Dave Lester Payne on this Tuesday. Stay safe, Miss Pickett.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The Present Truth Ministry of God